All right. Hey, everyone. This is the first yard sale interview slash podcast, and I have on friend and nutritionist, sports nutritionist, and MMA fighter Aaron Jeffery here. Aaron, if you want to just do a little intro on yourself, maybe.
Well, I'm honored to be the very first guest on the pod. Yeah, I'm a pro fighter. I've been fighting professionally for 12 years, I think. Currently fighting the PFL. I was in Bellator, moved over to PFL. I have a bachelor's in medical sciences from Brock University, certified sports nutritionist with ISSN. I have my own business, Jeffery Nutrition, that I've been running for like 8 years. I worked in a clinic for 5 years. I've worked with like hundreds and hundreds of clients. Yeah, I think that's about it. 2,000 day streak on MyFitnessPal. That's the
Yeah,
most
I think
important.
that's yeah, I'd say so too. So just like to make everyone aware, Aaron, he runs like he's growing his nutrition side. So he's been focusing on the fighting side for a long time. But he's also been focusing on the nutrition alongside it. And the reason why I kind of like enjoy talking to Aaron a lot and enjoy picking his brain and enjoy his content is because it's a lot more real than a lot of other people who do the same stuff on the internet. Like for example, I think it's like the Ultimate Human podcast, or there's like just pretty much everyone you see who's talking about nutrition at a high level with a lot of followers. They're rich, like they have a crap ton of money to do whatever they need to do. All their meals probably look like they're made by some personal chef, and they just look perfect, and they have everything completely dialed in. And Aaron is, I'd say, more relatable to anyone who actually wants to do what Aaron's doing at a normal human level, where he's eating meals where you're not looking at
My
them and you're
meals look
going,
like
"Oh my
shit.
god."
That's what you're saying.
Except, well, yeah, they look normal. They
Yeah.
don't look like they're made by some personal chef, and that's the part that kind of gets me. Where it's like if you see some other meals, there might be like enamoring or romanticizing it, where you're like, okay, yeah, well, I could like that looks unreal. But
Hmm.
then for you, it's like all that matters is that fuel. That's really
Hmm.
all you're focused on, and you know so much about it, and it's pretty much the same thing on repeat over and over again. And I don't know if you break it. I don't think you break it very often. I mean, you could speak on that more than I can, but it seems like it's very, very consistent, and it's just really impressive from a viewer point.
Yeah. Thanks, man. No, I'm pretty consistent year round, man. Like, even if I go to my mom's house or like I'm at my girlfriend's family's place right now, I'll eat a little bit like off of routine, but even the meals they make, I kind of like will tailor it to myself. Like I'll cut out the sauces and make sure there's less oil on my stuff, and yeah, I'm pretty consistent year round.
Is there anything like in the past 2,000 days that you haven't tracked on MyFitnessPal that you've eaten?
There's probably things that I forgot for sure, but like if I go back to like the day of a fight or like the day after a fight or something, like you can see I've tracked like 20 beers that I had after the fight and like 10 slices of pizza
Yeah.
and shit. Like, yeah, I track pretty much everything.
So there hasn't been a moment where you've gone, I'm too embarrassed to track that. I can't track that.
It's like so ingrained into me now, like 2000 days. I don't know how many years that is, but no, even like it's useless, right? Like I'm tracking beer and pizza, like it's not doing anything for me. I'm not even like it's not helping me reach my goals. I'm just doing it for fun, kind of.
Yeah.
So yeah, I pretty much do it all the time.
Sweet. So normally if I was just to interview you like as just anything other than a lacrosse like creator right now, I'd be interviewing on you on MMA stuff and a lot of like weight cutting stuff. But this is for specifically a lacrosse audience. So I asked on our story for any questions that they had. And I also have questions myself because I play myself. I've played hockey. They're very similar when it comes to nutrition,
Hmm.
I would assume, because they're
Hmm.
just very similar sports in general.
Hmm.
A lot of the questions that we got were about pregame stuff, and I don't want to limit that to right before a game. I'd rather bring that to like the start of the day,
Hmm.
and your thoughts on kind of the protocol for a game day kind of thing. Let's just say it's a night game.
Okay. First of all, I would say like eat foods that you enjoy and that you typically eat and that you know sit well with you. You don't want me to tell you to eat something that you've like never heard of or you've never had it before. Like I tell you like salmon and quinoa or something crazy, and some kids never had this food before, and he eats it and feels like shit. So first of all, like keep it kind of consistent to like your day to day stuff, like foods that you know will sit well with you, and again, you should enjoy them. Um, It should be like pretty carb heavy. Like it's a pretty high intensity sport, right? Like you guys are sprinting a lot, hockey or lacrosse. There's like short sprints. In
Yeah.
lacrosse, the shifts are short too.
Yep.
Yeah, so like it's intense and carbs fuel that activity. So I would say like you're probably gonna have 2 or 3 meals before the game. They should be like pretty carb heavy. Um, like maybe half your plate full of carbs. I think lean proteins, maybe a little bit of fruits and veggies. I would say limit the fats a little bit, especially as you get closer to the game. Fats slow down digestion. They're going to maybe sit a little bit heavier in your stomach. So yeah, again, carb based, good amount of like lean protein. Um, you probably want to slow down your eating a little bit as you get closer to the game. Like you don't want to be eating a full meal like an hour before probably. So
Yeah.
maybe you have your last meal 2 to 3 hours out, and then you can have like a carb based snack closer to the game, like within an hour or even 30 minutes of the game. You can have something that's just purely carbohydrate, banana, rice cakes, even like a PB&J. There's a little bit of fat there, but yeah, something like carb based and a little bit smaller.
So would veggies or micros be important on a game day like that?
Um, Not overly, to be honest. Fiber is something else that you would probably want to limit a little bit, especially as you get closer to the game. Like if you're eating a big plate of like broccoli or a giant salad or something with like tons of fiber, it's going to be like slowly digesting. It can kind of even block absorption of like carbs getting into your bloodstream and stuff. So
Mhm.
I wouldn't go crazy on fruits and veg. Fruits, like higher carb fruits, like again, banana or something is going to be good. But I wouldn't go crazy on that kind of stuff.
Okay. And caffeine. Would you say any caffeine, like if the game's at 7 p.m. or at night, would you say any caffeine in the morning? Would you say caffeine right before the game?
Again, you gotta kind of do what you normally do. If you are very caffeine sensitive or like caffeine naive, like you don't drink coffee at all, and you hear caffeine's gonna boost your performance, I would not go drink a couple cups of coffee before your game, because you're probably not gonna feel great, and maybe you're gonna be up all night. If it's something you do typically, like if you're a caffeine at night kind of guy, like maybe you guys have a 7 p.m. practice and you drink coffee before that all the time, I would say go for it. It does, like studies show it will increase performance. So, um, I guess there's like a little bit of a balancing act there too between getting your caffeine in to maybe give you a little boost and then not fucking up your sleep.
Okay. And for guys who drink energy drinks consistently, what would you say to those guys who want to perform at the top?
It depends what you mean by consistently. Like if it's consistently one a week, or is it consistently like four a
Every
day,
day.
every
Well,
day?
yeah, I'd say one or two a day is what I've seen.
Um, I don't think you're gonna have any like immediate health effects from that. Something that I'm like kind of trying to be more mindful of. I like diet pop. Just the plastic in the can. I guess it's like one of the highest sources of microplastics is like the canned stuff, even though it's not plastic, there's a plastic lining on the inside. And I guess that type of stuff has like the highest concentration of it. So if you're crushing like a couple energy drinks every day, you're taking in a lot of plastic. Um, Again, I don't think it's gonna have like an immediate health effect really. But probably not the best.
Anything for adrenaline there? Like if you're used to drinking one or two energy drinks a day, and then it comes to game day, do you think that maybe you'd have a little harder time getting it up for the game?
Um, No, I think you lose some of the benefit of caffeine if you're like very desensitized to it. So if you're having like 500 milligrams of caffeine every day, that's kind of your new baseline. It's not really giving you the same boost. They do studies where they like make people wean off for like a few weeks and then they give them caffeine again and then they get a bigger benefit from it.
Yeah.
Again, if you're trying to wean off caffeine and like play at your best, that's also going to be shitty. So, yeah, there's a balancing act there.
Let's take two different people. I'm gonna ask about nicotine. Let's
Hmm.
take two different people. One who's never tried nicotine in any sense before at all, and then another person who is almost crushing a tin of nicotine pouches per day. They're both like lacrosse players wanting to play at a high level. What would you say to each of these guys about nicotine?
The guy who's never had it before, I would say keep it that way. There's no
Yeah.
point in starting a new drug at like however old you are. You're 25 years old. There's no point in getting addicted to a new substance. The guy who crushes a tin a day, I would say you should probably cut back on that. Like pouches and stuff, I don't think they're probably not that harmful. I don't know. There's probably some shitty ingredients in there. I think nicotine in a small enough dose is like probably okay. There is some like blood pressure effects, which can be good in like large amounts and for a long period of time. But I think a small dose is okay. Like they say, it's supposed to be protective against like Alzheimer's, dementia, and stuff. So, could be neutral, could be a little bit good, could be a little bit bad. I think too much of it probably not the best idea.
So you wouldn't say there's any performance benefits for someone who's never tried it.
Um, I don't know. There's probably studies on this. I mean, there's again like sticking to what you know and what you do, like doing what makes you perform. I'm sure we all know someone that took some nicotine for the first time and was like puking or laying on the floor.
Yeah.
So if you want to do that before a big game, I don't think it's a great idea.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna switch it from the pregame stuff. Let's talk about a question I've always had watching NHL players growing up and watching high-level hockey players. Is I've noticed that like a lot of them have big guts. Like they got barrels on them. They look like they drink beer all the time. Like they don't have a low body fat percentage when you look at other professional athletes like soccer players or when you look at MMA fighters. But MMA fighters have to cut weight, but like there's a lot of sports NFL players who a lot of them are lean and shredded and they do
hmm
that to optimize their performance. What is that? How does that translate to like hockey and lacrosse?
Yeah, there is like an ideal body fat percentage for performance. Like too low, obviously, you get into like hormonal issues and stuff like that, and low energy availability. You just don't feel that good. But there's an ideal spot, right? Like you start getting over, I don't know, maybe like 15, 17%, you're carrying extra fat. It's weight on your body that doesn't assist you in moving your body. It's literally just weighing you down. So, yeah, it's not good. I mean, you see a guy with like a big gut, if he was 12% body fat, I am pretty confident that he would perform better.
Okay, so let's take a guy who's like short, like he's like 5'6", 5'7". Would you say like it for a guy like that who needs to kind of be a certain weight to hold his own when it comes to the physicality of a sport like lacrosse or hockey, like is it worth getting up to that higher body fat percentage to get that weight on, or would you say it's kind of like if you still would be in better shape and perform better and focus better at a lower body fat percentage, just kind of play to your strengths at that point, be like a faster guy?
Um, yeah, that's a tough one. I don't know the sports like well enough
Yeah.
to say like I don't know how good small guys do in these sports. Um,
Hmm.
like you're gonna be slower for sure, right? Like I said, sorry, I'm just plugging in my phone. It's almost dead.
It's all right.
You're gonna be slower carrying extra body fat. It doesn't just stop recording.
No, it's good.
Okay. Um, it doesn't assist you in moving the body. So if you're a small guy and you're carrying extra body fat, maybe now you're like small and slow.
Yeah.
Um, but they are kind of like big man sports, right? Like you don't see a ton of guys in the NHL who are 5'6", 150 pounds.
Yeah.
I don't know if you see any of them actually. So um, yeah, there's probably like a sweet spot of like holding the weight, but not being too slow.
Yeah. So what I always thought when I was seeing those guys, is like if you had someone who was just jacked and shredded, and like maybe they'd build up more lactic acid, or maybe they'd be less mobile. Is that like is there anything with that?
No, I mean unless you're getting to like bodybuilder size.
Okay.
But no, like again, there is like a sweet spot for body fat percentage. I think there is studies on this kind of stuff too. Like after a certain point, you're getting slowed down. You get too low again, you're not going to feel that good. But um, I would say it's very rare that you get a guy in pro sports that his coaches tell him like, "Hey, dude, you're too muscly. Can we take some
Yeah.
muscle mass off you?" I think
Yeah.
that would be pretty rare.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. So talking about that, I've seen a lot of guys with like the growth of the carnivore style diet or carnivore with fruit, or like with fruit and honey. That kind of holistic. I don't know what you would even call that. I guess carnivore and fruit. I don't know. But that kind of thing, as those have grown bigger, in popularity on social media and just out there in general. I've seen a bunch of athletes, even in rugby, in hockey, like who post their meals online a lot. In baseball too, Bryce Harper eats like this. A lot of guys who are like lower on their carbs now, and they eat like steak, just meats, salmon, and then a lot of fruit, honey, eggs, a lot of eggs as well. But they don't have as many carbs. What would you say? How does that work for a sport like hockey or lacrosse?
I don't like it. I think it's a trend. I think it's going to be gone in some amount of time. Like there was the paleo diet a while ago, and that was kind of like the first introduction of like this lower carb, more animal based type thing, and that is gone. Nobody knows what the paleo diet is anymore.
Yeah.
I think this will be a trend that will be like fairly short lived. Social media makes things huge right now too, and I don't know why like certain things catch on like that. Like this is way more trendy with like men too, right? Like you don't
For
see a ton
sure.
of like, female carnivores.
Yeah.
I think it's like a masculinity thing, and a lot of big names on the internet that people look up to, they promote this kind of stuff, so it's like caught on big right now. From a purely performance perspective, I don't think it's great. I think you need more like starchy stuff in your diet. Like again, high intensity stuff, it's carbohydrates that fuel that. It's like glycogen in your muscles that you need, and you want that topped off like all the time. If you're trying to play at the highest level, you have like multiple practices and games in a week, you want your glycogen topped off, and you need to eat a good amount of carbs to do that. So I think by like eliminating, I don't know, like rice, sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, even like whole grains and stuff, I think you're doing yourself a disservice.
Okay, and I guess for people listening, for me, I couldn't eat as many carbs as you do right now. Like I couldn't just go in tomorrow and eat as many carbs as you do. So like maybe if you want to say, just so people know how many carbs like you should be eating, like keep in mind you're probably training like 4 hours a day when you're eating this many
Yeah.
carbs, which is a lot different from a lacrosse player. But I guess just kind of say your body weight and how many carbs you're eating for that.
Me, myself,
Yeah, you.
yeah, I'm like, I have clients that ask me all the time, like, what's your diet look like? And like, I don't even like to tell people because I'm like definitely an anomaly. Like, I'm sure my metabolism is faster than most. I'm also a big lean guy, and I train a lot and I walk a lot and I don't take days off really. So I'm burning calories like crazy. Like there's days where I eat 5,000 calories.
Yeah.
If 50% of those calories are carbs, 2,500, I don't know, like 700 grams of carbs in a day. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a shitload for sure. I don't think people need to do that, but you need carbs.
Yeah. Sweet. Speaking of carbs, we had a question for mid game or intra game or intra practice carbs.
Hmm. Yeah, that can be handy for sure. If it's like a short, less intense practice, probably not. It's probably not going to do a whole lot for you. Again, I don't know like the structure of your sport that much. Like, will you guys have like a longer practice ever? Like
Yeah,
a
two
couple
hours
hours,
sometimes.
2 hours? Yeah, and like games could be that long.
Yeah.
I think if you're getting anywhere over an hour, a little bit of like intra workout carbs can be useful. Um, they do studies where the guys don't even like fully ingest the carbs. You just swish it around in your mouth and spit it out,
Hmm.
and like even that can
Like
increase
a Gatorade
performance.
powder or something.
Yeah, or like Gatorade or coconut water, or whatever, like something with a bit of carb. You don't even have to swallow it. I mean, you could and you probably should, but they do studies where they just rinse it in their mouth, and even that alone can increase performance a bit.
Sweet. And is there like would you do anything solid for that, like a banana?
Yeah, like something like a banana would probably be ideal, I guess. Yeah, I wouldn't want a guy eating like a sandwich when he's just like in between
Yeah.
shifts in the game or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Um, Liquid is good because it's gonna be absorbed very quickly. Some low fiber, like a rice cake or something, too, would digest quickly. But I mean, or like those gel packs, it's like kind of liquid, kind of solid, that kind of
Yep.
stuff. but I'd say liquid is probably ideal.
Okay. And I had a question for guys who like in the bodybuilding world, for example. It's always been macros first. That's the biggest thing. And then Chris Bumstead kind of recently is kind of changing that game for a lot of guys who are up and coming in that world and in athletics in general, where he's talking about how important macros are for your gut health. And it's not, people think macros are about performance, micros and all that is about longevity. I don't care about longevity. I want to perform right now. That's my biggest thing. What would you say for athletes who think like that?
I like to focus on food quality, so I guess it's almost like a little bit of an in between. Like I'm not telling guys to track their micros, but the first thing I'm looking at is like the quality of food you're eating. Like if you're hitting your macros, but you're eating Pop Tarts and protein shakes, I would not recommend that for anyone really. So yeah, like I will give guys like macros and calorie counts and stuff like that, but I think like the main focus should be food quality.
And why does that have an impact on performance?
Um, to be honest, I don't even know if it would have that much of an impact on performance.
Digestion?
Yeah, yeah, maybe. I mean, there's some like even like whole foods that are probably going to be a little bit not harder on digestion, but will take longer. Like again, if you're eating broccoli and sweet potatoes, it's going to be slower to digest than a bowl of Captain Crunch or something.
Yeah.
Uh, I just think like micros are part of it for sure. Like you need certain micronutrients for like hormone health and everything. So that's important. Like phytonutrients can aid with like recovery and muscle soreness and that kind of thing. So there's those benefits, longevity benefits. Um, I don't know,
Sleep?
man. Yeah, just like overall health. Like I don't think it's worth it to play at your best, but like sacrifice just your general health, like even immune health and stuff, like micros for that, like zinc and vitamin C and stuff. Yeah, it probably it might benefit you short term to like only focus on macros with like shitty foods, but I think you get a little bit longer term, say even you're looking like 6 months down the road and you're starting to fall apart a little bit.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't worth it for those first few months to feel good, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Like I've tried bulking for different sports before, and I've tried doing it the hard way or the easy way. Sorry, like dirty bulking.
Dirty
And
bulk.
I've noticed like in a matter of weeks, my sleep will go down. I'll feel less focused. I'll feel less motivated to go train. I'll feel tired all the time, lethargic,
Mm-hmm.
and weak. Even if I'm bulking, like I'll feel stronger if I'm eating less calories, but good ones that I'm sleeping better and like
Mm-hmm.
I can feel my muscles recovering properly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'd say that's kind of going off what you said there.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a sweet spot too. Like for me right now, again, if I'm eating like 5,000 calories in a day, there's no way I'm getting that in like chicken, broccoli, and sweet potato.
Yep.
So I'll have to add in some shitty stuff. Like, I like cereal. I eat a lot of granola bars. Like I'd say maybe, I don't know, maybe like 15% of my calories would be like shittier, like refined food.
Yep.
But yeah, I think the bulk of it should be like unprocessed, like healthy foods.
Okay, I have two more things. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. My next thing was on routine, like having your routine versus when you're traveling. So for lacrosse specifically, we're like at the high level, and the professional players specifically, and even tournament kids at a younger age, they're traveling a lot. So say for a professional player, they might fly to another city on Thursday. They'll be in an airport for a while. They'll be driving. They'll be sleeping in a hotel, and then on Friday, they'll have a practice. That whole day's traveling, and then Saturday they'll play their game, and then they'll be traveling home for Sunday almost every weekend during the professional schedule. You're one of the people who I've seen is able to keep a really steady routine even when you're traveling. So I'd say that'd be something good to speak on too.
Yeah, it's hard. And I also tell people like I don't expect them to be as like neurotic as I am about it. Like I'm fucking boiling eggs to bring them to the airport to make sure if I'm there for longer than I want to be that I have something that I'm like willing to eat.
Yeah.
Maybe taking it a little bit too far. Um, Also depends on how much you want to spend because I think you can probably get decent healthy meals in an airport, but maybe it's going to cost you like $70 a meal, So
Yep.
I think some prep is a good idea. Like if you know this is happening often, you shouldn't be fucking it up every single time. Like you shouldn't just be eating like Pop Tarts and French fries and shit in the airport every single time if you're doing it
Mhm.
consistently. Um, Even just bringing like some fruit with you, some nuts, like cheese strings, like shit that's just easy to grab at the grocery store. It's not expensive. It's portable. You're allowed to bring it on the airplane through security. That kind of stuff's great. Again, if you have like the funds for it and you want to eat airport food, like you can get a steak and a baked potato or something in the airport. There's a lot more of those type of options now. Um, yeah, so again, it's like a little bit of a balancing act. You don't want to say completely like, fuck it, I'm just gonna eat whatever in the airport, but I don't think you need to be like neurotic about it and stressed about it either.
What if you're in a different city on the Friday? You have a practice that day. You're in the hotel, and then you have a game Saturday. So like those are the 2 days that are probably most important for nutrition throughout the whole week.
Mm-hmm.
And you're in a different city without your routine almost every
Mm-hmm.
week for those 2 days.
Yeah. Um, I like Whole Foods, man. Again, it's a little bit pricey, but they have like the hot food bar, salad bar. They usually have them in most cities in the States. Whole Foods is sick because you can go like it's all like good healthy food and you can choose exactly what you want. There's a big variety. You can get good like lean proteins, lots of carbs, different options, fruits, drinks, everything you need is there. I like those places. Again, sometimes like a little bit of prep goes a long way. Like you're in a hotel, but there's like a Walmart across the street. You go to Walmart, you get like a decent healthy bread, PB&J, you get some fruit, you get some nuts, maybe you grab a thing of boiled eggs if you're willing to eat that. Um, I mean, like we live in it's 2025, like there's so many options now to make it happen, right? I think
Yeah.
people are sometimes not willing to put in that little bit of work, like to take an hour to go to the grocery store when you get to the hotel to make sure you have the good stuff there. Um, I think it really does go a long way.
Sweet. And I'm going to name off some supplements specifically for lacrosse players. I'm going to say rank it out of 5 for each
Okay.
one. I'm going to clip
Okay.
farm you here.
Okay. Do I need an
Creatine.
explanation or
Sorry?
explanation or
Yeah,
just
if you want to give an explanation, go
okay?
for it.
Okay.
Creatine.
5. Good for your muscles, good for high intensity shit, possibly good for your bones, probably good for your brain. So yeah, pretty good all around. The most studied supplement, the most like rigorously tested. It's been around forever. It's safe. It's cheap. So yeah, I'll give that one a 5.
Sweet. Protein powder.
Um, 4. I think it is good. Again, it's like very well studied and it has definitely a clear benefit for like muscle mass recovery, probably bone strength too. Um, that one, I will say it should be considered more of a supplement than like a staple in your diet because you can get that from Whole Foods. But again, it's like pretty cheap. It's effective. It's easy to transport. That's something quick you can have after a game to make sure you're hitting your targets. So pretty solid.
Sweet. BCAs.
0.
I thought that
um,
was coming.
yeah, I mean, if you there's a good meme about this that I like a lot. It's like athletes hitting their protein targets but still drinking BCAAs, and it's a guy, he's like in a pool and he's pouring water on his head.
Yeah,
Like they don't do anything unless you're lacking in your protein intake. So just eat enough protein and skip the BCAAs.
makes sense. Pre-workout.
Um, maybe like a
Let's say
2.
before a practice or a game instead of a workout.
Yeah, maybe like put it somewhere in the middle, like a 2 or a 3. Pretty much the only ingredient in there most of the time that it's actually doing anything is caffeine.
Okay.
So I think a cup of coffee is a lot cheaper and just as effective. I think you're probably paying for a bunch of shit in your pre-workout that isn't really doing a whole lot. A lot of them have like shitty colors and flavors and stuff in there too. So yeah, not great.
What about the beta alanine?
Um, yeah, I don't like studies show it is going to help a little bit for performance. I think more for like strength performance than anything. Um, I just think it's going to be a very small, if any, effect that you will notice. Like maybe if we put you through like some rigorous testing, we're going to notice like a couple percent benefit, but
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to notice it yourself in a game or a practice.
Okay. Electrolyte powder.
In a longer game or practice scenario, I think that can be good. maybe like a 3.5. Most people, I would say, probably don't need it. I think most people that don't eat an extremely clean diet get a lot of sodium in their foods anyways, so it's not that necessary. Um, Especially, I think, I don't know how much you guys sweat, but like you see me on the mats in MMA, I'm like, there's puddles around me. I train in
Yeah.
Florida, it's hot as fuck. Niagara in the summer, it's so hot. I sweat so much. I don't know if you're on the ice or like a lacrosse field for an hour or two, if it's like the same amount. But
In
yeah,
the
I'll put
summer, it is. Yeah, it's
yeah, it's
disgusting.
it's
Yeah.
sweaty. Yeah, maybe in a game in the summer, it could probably have some benefit.
Sweet. Greens powder.
Not good. A one.
Okay.
Again, it's I don't know. I don't even know if there would be like a head-to-head study on this, but I think you can get anything that's in there from foods, and I don't even know how well those powders are like retaining the nutrients that they say they have,
Mhm.
and they taste bad. They're kind of gross, so
Yeah.
not that good.
Okay. THC.
THC. Wow, that's not a supplement.
Some people use it as a supplement.
Um, Pre-game or practice, I would say not good. Like a zero, probably. I'm sure it's gonna fuck up your reaction time and like skills and everything. Again, I'll go back to saying like you do what's best for you. Everyone's different. Everyone has a routine. If it's like something that you're used to, like you smoke a little bit or take a gummy or whatever, like after a game or a practice, and it calms you down and helps you sleep, there probably is some net benefit to that. If you're like wake and bake, smoke all day, like high 24/7, I would say that is definitely going to be detrimental.
Okay, and it is more common than you'd think to see it before games.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy. It can't be good.
And in basketball too, I've heard.
Yeah, crazy.
And THC for sleep specifically, I'd say is the last thing.
Um, I would
For
have
someone
to,
who doesn't do it, I'd say.
for someone who doesn't do it, probably not good at all. For someone who does it consistently, I know with most things that like make you drowsy, there is like a dependency effect of it. So like you're gonna need it to sleep. I don't know THC specifically what it does to like REM sleep and sleep cycles. Maybe it's not great. Like I know alcohol, like you probably heard this before, it's gonna help you fall asleep, but then you're gonna have a shittier sleep because of
Yeah.
that. Same with a lot of like sleep aids, they'll help you fall asleep, but then you're gonna wake up through the night and get like a not restful sleep. Um, Again, like if you are dependent on it and it's going to be hard to wean off, maybe you have to wait till like postseason to do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I would say try not to get to that point.
But for a professional athlete, you would recommend weaning off if they are currently dependent on it at some point, say in the off season.
Yeah, I mean, I recommend that to everyone for every drug. You should probably wean off it. Do I follow those rules myself? Not. Do I think that's best for like long-term health? Probably.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah.
That's all I had. When I end this, don't hang up right away. I
Okay.
just got to upload the video. But
Okay.
thank you, everyone, for watching, and I hope you learned a lot from Aaron. And go follow him. Actually, he is actually currently doing some nutrition programming as well. I don't know. Do you want to talk about that quick?
Sure. Yeah, I'm taking on coaching clients right now. So if you want to hit me up at Jeffery Nutrition, my main account at AAJ MMA. That's all the fighting stuff, and then I do like the nutrition stuff on the side. So yeah, check me out.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thanks, Aaron.